Hello and welcome. It's time for World Tour Virtual Qualifying and the Sprint. You're hopefully watching this on Friday, unless I've not managed to get the video onto YouTube uh, by the end of today, and it might be Saturday. But let's get right into it with Q1, where the bottom 5 drivers will end up being knocked out. So here we go. For Q1, 8 minutes. Looks like Gironi's out here on the front. Usually the first lap, despite the first lap has less tire wear than the flying laps that follow. So this might be where we get to see the Q1 winner already. But you never know. There's a lot of time of Q1, 8 minutes. So tons of flying laps to potentially improve on. Right now, it's Shiloh who sets it on first place. And here, let's have a little relegation line to show you Butter, Jake Suicide, Bluebell Boy, and Belgian Senna currently in the knockout positions. So they would not advance to Q1 at the current moment, and that's the most important thing to focus on here in Q1. Here's Butter. Everyone is into the pits. Here we are. So Stefano is just 0.21 seconds ahead of Butter's time, keeping him into Q2 at the current moment. Butter's outlap is what we're looking at right now. While he's on his outlap, let's take a look at the token spent for today and for the entire round at Nürburgring. We've got Mr. Crunk spending 3 tokens, Emma Box spends 1, Levy spends 1, Kraft spending 2, and Butter spending 3. As he's on his flying lap, I think. Jake also spends 3, so does Arcaniac, 4 tokens from Amateur, 4 from Shiloh, which would make sense with the first place in Q1 right now. Juruni spending 2 tokens, Corvid also spending 2 tokens, and Skip spending 2 tokens, and that's your token spenders. For the race, here we are, Butters, end of his lap, he does not improve, so he is still stuck behind Stefano, and that might be the case for the rest of qualifying. Tire wear 4 wears out the tires quite quickly, so we might change this for future rounds, lower it by a tiny bit, because it's not going to be fun if barely anything improves. Actually, Girini has just improved from 4th into 3rd. Sorry about the car stats there, but yeah, let's take a look at the car stats. In green are the upgrades that have been successful from the recent round of upgrades, and you've got the car index stats on the right, with Volkswagen having the strongest car by far. Hyundai i30, they're green and bold. On the turbo, that's because they succeeded 2 turbo upgrades in the latest round. So yeah, a lot of successful upgrades in a sense. Don't really succeed them anymore, you just finally reach them. Butter, he's on his another flying lap. Can he beat Stefano's time? Surely. It's not that far off. You can see the Peugeots. Their car has 8 grip, and they're currently second and third in qualifying, so they're doing well for themselves. Corvette and Kamikaze 6th and 8th. The Renault has 6 grip, so that may be helping them out a lot. Doesn't look like Butter will improve here. Yeah, it's a 38.45, second off the pace. Nobody at the back really improving. Butter might have a chance at one more flying lap, but it looks like the bottom 5 will stay as is. That's very disappointing for Butter, who's spending 3 tokens on this race, and he's gonna have a bit of trouble when it comes to the sprint. But if he does well in the sprint, he can still start from a good position in the race itself. Into the pits now. See, oh, Kamikaze and Corvette just improved to second and fourth, splitting the Peugeots. So you can see there, the Peugeots and the Renault Meganes are looking very good with their high grip, because this track, as you can see, especially the qualifying, where the tires degrade a lot faster in order to set these quick qualifying times. Yeah, you can see that very grip-oriented cars are succeeding a lot in this qualifying. We still got Shiloh in first. He is spending 4 tokens, but Amateur, who is also spending 4 tokens, is only 7th at the moment. But of course, there's 2 more qualifying sessions to follow, so it's not like this qualifying session will be the be-all end-all for the top 15 drivers at least. For Butter, it just might be, as he's on his final flying lap here. I doubt he'll be able to get another one, and he hits the gravel there. That's going to cost him a lot of time. Does not go out wide on the gravel there. That's very important, because if you have a very long straight afterwards. But also the final turn is important, and he does not go out onto the gravel there. Oh, does not improve, however. A 37.6 to his best attempt after his first lap, but it's not enough to beat Stefano. And now he's on his end lap. Corvette improving Kami as well. Incredible qualifying stuff from those guys. Let's hope that they don't show the aces up their sleeves too early in Q1. Butter now on his end lap, losing a lot of time with the worn out tires. Here he is on his outlap, but I doubt he'll be able to finish it before Shiloh. Actually, looks like he might as well. Shiloh's just crossed the finish line and still has a lap to go. Oh no, this is his final lap. Okay. This is Shiloh's final lap. Will Butter be able to... No, it's done? Oh, it's Girouni that finishes for... Alright. Got a bit confused there. But it's Girouni that finishes like the entire session first. So it doesn't look like Butter's been able to set a flying lap as a result. Doesn't help that it won't... There he is, there's Butter. This is his final lap. This looks to be his flying lap, but he makes a huge mistake there. That's going to cost him too much time. It will not be an improvement. 35, yeah. Sadly, it's Butter, Jake, Suicide, Bluebell Boy, and Belgian Senna who are out in Q1. They'll be looking to get a much better performance in the sprint, especially Jake and Butter, who are spending 3 tokens each on this race. So it's crazy that they are struggling so much, but it might be at least for Jake's Honda, because of their one grip, and grip is very important on this track, as you can see. Um, really decisive. So yeah, there's the results of the session itself. Let me show you the grid. So here's the grid for Q2. We've got Shiloh currently fastest lap, then the two Renaults, followed by the two Peugeots, Mr. Crunk, Amateur, Arcaniac, Skip, and Julo. So both Volkswagens in the top 10 at the current moment. Then we have Emma Box, Botti, Kraft, Levy, and Stefano, and our five knocked out participants: Butter, Jake, Suicide, Bluebell Boy, and Belgian Senna. Those five will be starting from these grid positions. Let's move on to Q2. Alright, here we go. Shiloh starts us off 6 minutes for Q2, so 2 minutes less. And the same will be true for Q3, where there will be 2 minutes less, 2 minutes less, and 4 minutes in total. Corvettes running away with it. Really quick lap to start us off, and as you can remember, with tire wear settings at the current moment at tire wear 4, first lap is often very important to get right. And it doesn't look like Shiloh's doing that. Looks like Corvette, Girouni, and Amateur are doing that. Corvette with a time of 34.62, Girouni 34.45, Amateur 34.43. So incredible times we're seeing here, and let's set up the qualifying 2 relegation line. Currently in the knockout positions are Levy, Emma Box, Balti, Stefano, and Kraft, who are also the people I'm pretty sure that finished in the bottom 5 last time around, with Skip and Julo, Comey and Corvid and Girouni and Not That Guy. So that's 3 teams that are all doing excellently. They've also all got quite a bit of grip, and it looks like both the drivers of each of these teams might make it into Q3, but you can never judge too early. Everyone going wide into that bet. There looks to be the in lap right now. Here's Emma Box, Julo around the same pace as Emma on the very worn out tires, but depends on how he does on the not worn out tires. That matters more. Into the pits they go. It's Emma. And let's switch over to Levy, who is the closest to being able to get into Q3. He just has to beat Julo's time, and the difference between them at the current moment looks to be 0.15. That's a tenth and a half for Levy to beat on his outlap right now, because of how long the pits are here at the Nürburgring. You cannot get a quick lap if you pitted the lap previously, but you never know. There might be a track where the pits end before the finish line, potentially, and on that track it might in fact happen. That will be interesting to see for sure. Here we see Levy on his flying lap, does touch a bit of grass there, which is unfortunate. Stays on the track over here and over here. That's very good for him. So far, must not go out wide there, and he does not go out wide there, so it's looking to be a good lap, but doesn't have the speed. Doesn't look like it yet. The Audi struggling with only 2 speed and 2 acceleration and 2 grip and 5 turbo as their stats, and it really does show. And he doesn't manage to beat Julo's time on his flying lap here. Neither do any of the cars behind, including Emma Box, even though generally Emma Box is in front. of Julo at the current moment. See, Emma Box looks like a potential contestant. This will be the final chance. You'll have the out lap after this, and then the flying lap. And this might be Emma Box's chance to just manage to get into Q3 if he can beat Julo's time. But right now on the out lap, Rooney gets a sub 34, 33.98. He's currently in first for the second qualifying session. Of course, that doesn't matter much. What matters most for him is to be in the top 10 to make it through to Q3 and hopefully set a quick time like that in Q3 as well. But it is possible for some drivers to improve upon their first laps. Looks to be a trend that is mostly seen at the drivers at the front, not the back. That might be an AI skill level issue, but here goes Emma. Can they set a quick enough time? Oh, hits the gravel there. That's gonna cost tons of time, and if they don't hit the gravel there, out wide there, which is at least one of the two turns done correctly, but it's not quick enough. It's a 37.23, and it looks like the bottom 5 are here to stay. Crap with a particularly awful car, awful, awful lap. I mean, but yeah, must not be the greatest car. To be 1.3 seconds behind the next fastest driver. Jeez, so Kraft really struggling there. So it looks like this is your top 10 for the final Q3 session. And we'll take a look at the qualifying 2 results in a second here once the final lap does in fact finish up. Got Girouni right now. There we go. Across the line. Very solid performances from the Renaults, from the Peugeots. And Shiloh actually 9th. That's surprising, but amateur, a good performance in Q2, and Shiloh did have a great one in Q1 with that first lap, so maybe he'll be able to show some of that pace in the final round of qualifying. Waiting for everyone to get across the line here. It's Emma Box, Fano, Chulo. Here's Levy. Just finishes in P11. Not a bad place to start for the sprint. Remember, the points in the sprint are top 8, but then in the actual race, and the sprint determines the grid for the race, then the points will be top 10. So here's the grid. Here's the qualifying 2 results. We've got, so yeah, Levy, Emma Box, Balti, Stefano, and Kraft are knocked out for Q3. That's both the Audis, as well as both the Cupras and both the Hondas that are out for Q3. Alright, here we go for Q3. This will determine who ends on pole position for the sprint and also, of course, the grid positions of the top 10 drivers that have managed to make their way here. Amateur and Corvid and Girouni with some quick starts, particularly Amateur, as you can see there. Not that guy also having a quick start. First lap might be a more important one here. Looks like Girouni's got some pace out of that turn. Is he catching? Looks like he might be catching Amateur bit by bit. And he is side by side with him here. Who has the faster lap is Amateur. Is not that guy who is on provisional pole right now. Shiloh also beating Amateurs and Girouni's times. And right now, let's see, we've got not that guy, of course, in provisional pole with a 34.82, so that's not a strong lap at all. in comparison to the previous 2 sessions we've had, where it was more a low 34. So we'll see once drivers pet if they'll be able to improve on that, and if Girouni will be able to improve. Right now he does improve on the second lap to a 35.12. And I think I saw someone else improve there, but I'm not sure who. Arcaniac and Julo are already into the pits. They'll be looking to get a flying lap quick and maybe get a third flying lap, even if we count this race, the session start, as a flying lap. So we'll see how Arcaniac and Julo manage to do here while everyone else goes into the pits and out for the out lap. Arcaniac and Julo are about to complete theirs. Here they go. Arcaniac starting his flying lap. Set your timers. Let's see how he does. He got 4th in Q2, so he's definitely capable of a good lap. He'll be looking to get a great one here, as Belgian Senna, if I remember correctly, finished 20th in Q1. Oh, but he does go into the gravel there, which can cost him for sure 31 seconds going into this low chicane. Doesn't appear to be an improvement. He has 38 seconds, and neither does Julo improve. He only got 39 seconds. So now it's everyone else's flying lap. Let's see if Girouni can improve his position. He can definitely go faster than 35.12. He even hit a 33.98 in Q2. So let's see, across the finish line here, might touch a little bit of grass, but gets a 34.82. He's joined with Not That Guy. Not That Guy improves his to 34.80. Peugeots. What a qualifying session from the Peugeots. Completely unmatched by anybody else at the current moment. It looks like the Renaults are struggling to get laps like that, and I don't think we're going to see enough time for a third flying lap for most of these drivers, except for maybe Arcaniac and Julo. I think, I'm not sure. No, it looks like Arcaniac's on his out lap at the moment. So unless he finishes it before Not That Guy and Girouni finish their final lap, hopefully they get across the line right now, for Arcaniac and Julo's sake. And it looks like they do. Yes, Arcaniac onto his flying lap. What about Julo? Where is Julo? Where is Julo? That is a great question. Where? There he is. There's Julo. Also for his flying lap. Oh, but Arcaniac takes a deep bit of grass there. That will definitely cost. Every mistake costs in this qualifying session. And having Mr. Crunk, even if ghosted close next to you, is a bit distracting for the AI lines. So no 34 seconds going into the final turn. Arcaniac will keep his current grid slot. Oh, and Julo, horrible mistake, also keeps his current grid slot. So let's take a look at the top 10 and their grid positions for the race. So here we are, Not That Guy hits on pole position, front row lockout for the Peugeots. Behind them, the two 4-token spenders, Shiloh and Amateur, will start, followed by Corvid, Mr. Crunk, Skip, Arcaniac, Julo, and Kamikaze will be starting from 10th. So, without further ado, it's time for the sprint. Alright. Here we go, Not That Guy starting off pole. He's got the hards on, Girouni on the softs, Shiloh and Amateur also on the hards. Girouni, he's out wide, Shiloh squeezes through, Corvid also on the inside here. Shiloh leads right now, trying to make his escape, but Not That Guy now back into the lead. Girouni's fallen down the order, Shiloh looks to have gone out wide. It's Not That Guy versus Mr. Crunk for the lead of the sprint race. Corvid also coming in here. Mr. Crunk leading Corvid down the inside, and Corvid leads us away for the first lap. But this battle for the race lead is not over yet. We've got Corvid, Mr. Crunk, Girouni's back in it as well. Shiloh, not that guy looking to get back involved. And here's Amateur. Here we go, Mr. Crunk currently leads, but it's also a matter of the strategy here. He's gone on softs. He could either pit after 6 laps onto, I'd say, either a set of hards, or maybe try a 2-stopper and pit onto softs and softs. Corvid on the mediums is more interesting. Could probably pull off a 1-stopper with another switch to mediums. Meanwhile, Shiloh will be looking to probably go onto the softs here. Mr. Crunk runs away now as Corvid makes a mistake, and Shiloh is looking for that second place, and both Peugeots have dropped out of the podium positions at the moment. Girouni's close to Corvid, however. He's gonna make use of his softs as much as he can, but they have not worked out for him at the start. He's dropped from 2nd to 4th. That's definitely not something that's too great when you're running on the softs. You don't want to be dropping positions at all. And he's just in the middle of Corvid and Amateur at the moment. Just the sheer grippiness of the Peugeot car means that he doesn't have to worry too much about worn tires, I'd say, but he does take grass out wide on the final turn there. Mr. Crunk currently has the fastest lap, which is worth nothing in the sprints. Pole position, which was by not that guy, really gets a penalty, forcing Amateur out wide, and that will cost him even more. Skip running behind in P7. Then we have Kami, Arcaniac, and Julo. Kami in the final points position for the sprint. But of course, the sprint results will also um, determine the grid for the race. So Shiloh, right now in the lead. Mr. Crunk has dropped down to 4th as his tires have gotten really worn down now. What about Girouni? He's also struggling despite the grip, and Not That Guy is looking for P4 there. Mr. Crunk makes a mistake, and Not That Guy gets P4 indeed. We have Amateur in 3rd, Corvid in 2nd, and Shiloh running 1st. So we'll see, these drivers might work out with an overcut, pitting onto softs after these hards. Girouni into the pits for a set of mediums. Interestingly enough, is he going to try and extend those mediums for 11 laps? It's going to be quite difficult, but maybe he can pull it off. Mr. Crunk still not into the pits. Onto the 7th lap of these softs, and that will cost him more time. Must be into the pits now, surely. Yes, he does indeed pit. And he goes onto a set of mediums. Girouni and Skip get past him. Comes out in P7, but he's not too far behind him. So we've got this pack of Girouni, Skip, and Mr. Crunk for P5s. Girouni's actually ran away from Skip here, and Mr. Crunk has gotten past him as well, so not much of a pack. Amateur and Not That Guy fighting for 2nd place. Not That Guy gets it down the inside. He takes 2nd, looking to chase down Shiloh before the pit window. The question is, will he manage it here? And of course, Peugeot has an advantage in that grip. But in terms of pure speed plus acceleration, they do in fact lose out to most teams. They only have 2 speed and 0 acceleration. But when you can stay on the track as reliably as the Peugeots can, you can inch your way closer and closer, as Not That Guy has done to Shiloh here. Emma Box in P8 at the current moment. Skip has fallen down to P9 after pitting. Emma Box hasn't pitted yet. Skip is on the softs, fighting with Emma Box for position. Not That Guy into the lead of the sprint race after starting on pole. Helped out a bit by Stefano there, but makes a huge mistake into that corner, and Shiloh's right up the back of him. They might be pitting now, or they will pit next lap. Shiloh pits now, looking for an undercut on Not That Guy. Corvettes on the softs in P6. Girouni, after nearly everyone has pitted, looks to be in the lead. Jake hits the wall a bit weirdly there, but nothing bad ends up happening to him. Girouni looking to get that first place, to get that lead. Pardon Hetmanica there. Right, Not That Guy into the pits. Girouni takes the race lead, and Peugeot is still on for the sprint victory. And that also means pole position for the actual race, which can of course help out tons. So we've got Girouni, we've got Amateur currently in second, battling with Mr. Crunk. He's got 4 token spend, and behind him is Shiloh. Also with the 4 token spend, Amateur makes a mistake there. That allows Shiloh to close the gap to both Mr. Crunk and Amateur. Mr. Crunk going out wide gets Amateur back into second place. And Girouni really risky there. And Belgian Senna has DNF'd the race, smashed into the wall there. Well, I don't think he was running in the points anyway. So all this does is ensure his grid position will be last, which it was already for the sprint. Nothing ventured and nothing gained. Indeed, Girouni is having his gap between him and second closed rapidly as Shiloh and Amateur look to be making a move for the sprint lead. And Girouni now extending these mediums will be in a bit of trouble as well. Mr. Crunk and Not That Guy not far behind too. So Girouni will be looking to keep a high position for as long as he possibly can. Shiloh gets in front of him for the sprint lead now. Girouni makes a little mistake there, and that just means that Shiloh can run away even further. Levy there, blue flag, struggling to get past Bluebell Boy, who is double blue flagged. So that's quite unfortunate, I'd say. Bluebell Boy with a huge gap between him and his teammate Jake, who's in 18th. Not a great race for Honda here. Girouni still keeping out in second place as Not That Guy gets past Amateur. But we've got 2.5 laps left, and Not That Guy looks to soon enough be able to easily get past Girouni. Should have gone on the inside into that turn rather than the outside, but he does make his way past Girouni anyways. Amateur lost a bit of time. His tires might be struggling as well. Yes, they are indeed struggling, which might allow Mr. Crunk to get ahead, but he's busy holding behind both the Renaults of Corvid and Kamikaze, who are also fighting between themselves. Let's see, we've got Skep just holding down P8, the final points position, battling with Emma Box for it, and Skep's softs are very dead. Emma's are just a lap fresher, but as long as Skep can use this car's advantage, he should be able to finish just in front of Emma Box. But we also have Arcaniac chasing them down. He's also on worn tires, however. Not That Guy takes the lead. Going into the final lap, takes the lead of the sprint race from Shiloh. Girouni is still holding down the final podium position for the sprint, so it looks to be a solid haul of points. For Peugeot, we have Amateur just past him is Corvid, just past him is Mr. Crunk, just past him is Kami. Oh my god, not that guy. Wins the sprint in Nürburgring. Shiloh in second. Girouni in third. Corvid across the line in fourth. Comey in fifth. Mr. Crunk, an amateur, loses out the most in seventh. And it looks like Arcaniac might in fact be the winner of that battle for P8, and he gets that final single point. And now the rain is announced. It is a bit too late for it to matter for the top 10 here. Skip and Emma Box just pipped to the points by Arcaniac, but they've still got a solid grid position here. We see Julo um, planning to finish here. They'll struggle with the very worn out tires, but there's Julo and P11. Here's Botti, he finishes 12th, ahead of Levy, which is interesting considering Botti has spent no tokens, and Levy has spent one. Kraft in 13th, Suicide 14th, Lev will be starting 15th, which is a downgrade from his qualifying performance. Here's Stefano, he finishes the sprint in 16th. Nope, Butter just manages to overtake him for 16th. Then we will have Jake in 18th, Bluebell Boy in 19th, and Belgian Senna had, of course, DNF'd for 20th. So here's your results. Mr. Crunk held on to that fastest lap, which, well, it doesn't get you an extra point, but he at least got a fastest lap. Which is cool to see. So here's your sprint results, and we'll see you in a bit or maybe tomorrow. I still do not know, for the 34 lap race at Nürburgring, with these results determining the grid of the race. So see you then.